Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, I would like to give another mini article review into one of the articles that my professor was given. Actually, this video was required as my final Merger and Acquisition Business Valuation class with Prof. Sambel. The article was entitled with Merger and Acquisitions. How do you increase the value of two companies joined together? So the key word is increase the value. This article was created by Helen Abrams. Actually, there is something interesting within the article, but I will make sure that I will mention it in the last part of the video. So first thing first, we are going into the problems that happen that stated in the article. So it's called a study by KPMG reveal that almost 90% of the merger and event analysis was, not apa ya namanya, not increase the shareholder value, or even worse, they destroy shareholder value. Only 13% of them who successful increase the shareholder value. So why they need still do it, and then how come it could be possible to achieve the success, and which part of things that we should measure to achieve the success itself. It's all of it is revealed in this article, in the describing goodly well. I would like to give you first to why the company is doing merger. The key word here, the company is doing merger or their do business combination is to achieve what we call as the emergent synergies. Three synergies they want to achieve or revenue synergies, where they can absorb, like getting many revenues within two companies by reducing the cost because they having a good supplier and also the good integration. So their cost of people, cost of goods sold, and so on. So cost of operating is really low. Last thing is about financial. They need funding, they need working capital. So they can issue the debt fund or equity fund from the others, since they want paying bigger throughout the synergies. Whether there are expected a new value, which is shareholder or owners itself expected a new value of the companies joined together. And next, we are knowing and being familiar with what we call as a value gap. What is value gap? Actually, it started when shareholders want to achieve the expected value of the company joins together. But there's only actual value that could be achieved by the companies after they join together. So the actual value cannot be achieved. The expected value was called as the value gap, the gap between actual value and expected value. Sometimes there is an actual value, sometimes there is no value anymore. So yeah, this being worsened or being good, and there's another company who achieve the actual value, go beyond the expected value. So what kind of things that happens and is still interesting. So next step. Before we move into the step, we are going into such a discussion about the phase of business combination itself. Talking about business combination, actually the two phases. The first phase is called as transaction phase. Look like fancy ones. People want to try to participate, being proactive in this one because look like glamorous. When you make sure that, okay, I want to buy your company 6 times that and what is your balance sheets? Hey, I want to sell this company. Could you, could you give me a good price and so on? When you're doing a meeting, such a measuring, due diligence, and so on, or making a deal, sign a contract. and also the integration phase. When the first one, we are going into the next level before we move to the new single companies. I mean, like the new synergies of the company itself. Or sometimes people call it as post-merger integration or PMI. This integration phase is really critical and essential when we are doing business combinations. It should so. But before that, let's learn type of mergers regarding the efforts. There is three types of mergers or business combinations regarding their effort. First word we call it coexistence. The coexistence is when the company, I mean like the True Blue here and the Gold Rush, the True Blue try to acquire or buy the Gold Rush, but they let the Gold Rush to work independently, just maybe giving a report, sometimes making decision and so on. There is the opinion from the owners. I mean, like the True Blue, it could be happen. So that's how the coexistence system type of mergers done. The next type is about absorptions. The absorptions is that when the True Blue absorb the gold rush and the gold rush being disappear. Since because maybe too big, so only take the good one lah, the good system and so on. So the gold rush being disappear. So they don't happen anymore. So when the companies being a True Blue. And the last part, it's called as synthesis. When those blue and gold combine together within, creating the new. It is really hard, right? Because we combine two things and two entities into single one. How could possible? What kind of things that we need to sacrifice and so on. So in the term of effort, the synthesis is the part, I mean, like the type of mergers that's kind of hard to process rather than absorptions and coexistence. But managing transition phase, again, it is critical. Regardless the type of mergers that I mentioned before, there are a time limited of the transition phase, I mean integration phase itself. It's only 6 months. Almost every company only has 6 months, half of a year, 2 quarters after the contract was signed. So there is a three type of teams who managing this transition. First is a too little. The too little is only small number of people who work with, I mean, a team to participate, to deal with the transition. That's sometimes not enough and creating confusion among them. Next is about too late, when because the fancy glamorous things in the transaction, a lot of people okay, I want to relax sometimes, to take a breath for a while after the deal, but then they miss what the critical part is. And when the transitions come into rush, and it could be not good for the company, since they will miss some things here, the people, the supplier, the consumer, and so on, because the rush. The last part, when type, it is just right when we executing immediately after the deal. We also monitor all the researches with the people, the tools, technology, and so on, to ensure that we have a good emergent synergy. We achieve our value expected value, and also try to remove all of the value gap. So it's just right. But there are two key success factors of the integration process. First thing first is about people, and there is about proactive integration. When those things with a good amount, sufficient amount, they are preparing well into these integrations. They also monitor anything and adjusting anything into the process. So they actively try to make sure that all things will go well in the next 6 months. The next one is about speed and momentum. As I mentioned before, that we cannot be relaxed or take a break and so on after deal. We need to stay ahead. We need to recognize our merger value early. We should achieve our emergency synergy itself. And also when problems comes, we should try to solve that. And then after we make a deal, we still have such an enthusiasm, spirit. So we should keep our spirit in the integration process. Maybe we can take a break after 6 months. After the company is going well and fully integrated. So there's two key factors success. About the transition, there is a plan of transitions. This Helen's actually reveal a transition plan as an actionable program should be developed to focus process and achieving the visions. There are 4 transition plans that more they need to do. First, about the priorities, the tasks that they need to done it. So we should know what is our priorities. The financial one, like the marketing one, how to make sure this is our priorities, the critical task itself to achieving those value. Changing mechanisms when we know that we comes into possibility of new opportunities, so we should achieve it. And also how to reduce all the issues, to solve kind of issues, unexpected issue. So we should have a good change in mechanisms, maybe technology help. And targets, there is a measurable milestone that need to achieve. Maybe in the next 2 weeks we should done that. In the next 6 weeks we are doing these things and so on. To realizing our value, like expected value itself. Plus also the task. That there is people who need to be in charge on those things and so on. And also like technology itself, tools and any resources that we are going to participate to achieve our expected value. Another part of transition plan is 3. It's called process plans, people plans, and technological plans. The process plan is tend to creating synergies in a new business. So we should have a good process with asking 3 questions. First, why? Why we should create these synergies. Why we should achieve the strategies, why to implement the strategies, what kind of opportunities that we can achieve on those in the short term or in the long run and so on. And how is about how to create the equal visions in everyone's minds in those single entities, about management philosophy. So how we can improve, how we can achieve it by a vision, by a similar vision of all the people there. The last part is about the what is the operation model, that's the business process that we want to implement. What kind of things that we should implement, what kind of things that we should take, what kind of things that we should take out, and so on. The next one is about people. We also need to show that the people is monitor well. The people who actively, I mean, like proactively doing the integrations, we should give it the best. And reducing the people who don't want to achieve more, or we call it survival type of behaviors. When people like they're only comfy and comfortable in certain process and job tasks, so we should reduce it and then try to, take it out. But we are increasing what we call it self-actualizations behavior. People in the Maslow hierarchical needs to ensure that they has a sense of ownership for the companies. The last part is about technological plans. We are enable the enterprise throughout the data information system from the top ones, I mean like top level until the low level. We are fully integrated their system and data information. So it's critical to know to monitor. You need a system, you need the data, you need the information. So we come into the interesting part here. Actually, this article was created by Helen Abrams, and she is the one who found and also lead, I mean, like being CEO of enterprise. Yeah, almost. So it is such an, an Oracle business suite tool software that can help you to uh to do the business. I mean, like join business combinations. So yeah, this really interesting article. Actually, it's all the marketing article and so on. So the post-merger integration steps that Miss Helen's try suggest lah to add the value throughout your event using Oracle e-business suite. So you can EBS to lead, successful and achieving those value. First one is aligns our calendar accounting charts within acquiring company. You know that we should create the single ones of report and so on. So using EBS is can make it easy, Second was about the research and legal requirements that maybe we face about taxes. We should happens. I mean, like a deal in the one countries, maybe we acquire another companies in another country. So we have a good legal people to stay at them, and EBS help you, because they provide some information gitu. And three is about reevaluate the asset of the companies and also the debt class, some of amortizations, depreciation, and so on. We need to reevaluate of all the assets of these two combined company. So yeah, there is a tools on it on EBS. The fourth is about reorganize our ledger, because there is two ledger actually kan ya. So yeah, the balance sheet need to combine into ones. The inventory need combine into ones. Standardize their business process. So yeah, the system, the informations, if they can become ones, it help, and EBS will help you with this product. Number 5 is consolidates all of the things to know to achieve the capital. I mean, like synergies itself between the two companies. And also don't forget to use the news persons of the ABS. So it's really fun though to read a marketing article review. Wow. Okay, to conclude all of things that I already said, I mean, like speak for about 10 minutes. First thing first, merger is one of most exciting parts, events in the company's history when, especially when we can merge with the big companies and still good money, and then you can increase your value and so on. So yeah, it's exciting. exciting. It's also give a chance for the companies to utilize the synergies, create a new product, service, creativity, innovations, and boost, of course, boost shareholder value. The critical one, like the essential ones, the reason why we should combine, we should increase our shareholder or owner value. The last, as the company should avoid the value gap that I already mentioned before with, yeah, with strategy of transition, people-nya, teknologinya, and prosesnya to establish a new foundation for success company right now, I mean the 6 months after and the future. I mean like a year, next 10 year, or even longer, or after you being acquired by another company then. With the effective post-merger integration planning and focus on the key success criteria and core operations. So that's all of my video. I hope you all enjoy it. Let's meet in another video of mine. Thank you. Bye bye.